and Yvette Colbourne, who is a member of the Miramar City Commission, running for re-election on March 11th in Seat 2. She has an opponent, Luis Pedraza. Mr. Pedraza is one of only two candidates in Miramar who has not engaged with us and responded. We don't have a questionnaire from him. He didn't agree to submit to this interview. All we basically have from him is his campaign website and his campaign platform as stated there. But Ms. Colbourne, thank you very much for participating today. I'm going to give you a chance to make an opening statement and tell us why you're running for re-election and what you feel you've accomplished in Miramar.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for having me. I am Commissioner Yvette Colbourne from the city of Miramar. I have been serving in the city of Miramar since 2013. I have a background in public administration, a master's degree, a bachelor's in business administration, and I've lived in the city of Miramar for 32 years. Prior to being elected, I served on several boards within the city of Miramar, as well as Broward County as well. I retired from Miami-Dade County government. I serve in the city of Miramar, and I respond to the needs of all of our residents. I care about the city of Miramar. I love my city, where I have resided for so many years, and I want to see the best for my city. Over the years that I have been serving as commissioner, I have made it my priority to maintain our taxes low and keep a balanced budget where we can service East and West and provide many services to our residents. One of my first initiatives was the Adult Daycare Center to allow our residents to be able to stay home longer, have their whether they're living with their kids or spouse, take them to the adult daycare center, and then they can come home and continue to live in their home. Affordable housing. These past years, I have initiated, sponsored a resolution for the creation of Affordable Housing Trust Fund. That would be one of the things that has been a priority for me. The infrastructure, especially on the east side to reduce flooding, has been another one. Making sure that we have the safety personnel, police and fire, that is crucial to our city, and I have been able to make sure that we do that.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that opening. Well, let me jump right in here.
Okay.
Your opponent, Luis Pedraza, says on his campaign website, one of the reasons he's running is to combat the serious increase in thefts and burglaries in Miramar. Are residential thefts and burglaries a serious problem in the city?
I don't have any evidence that we have had any remarkable increase in that. City of Miramar, we continue to hire more police officers and use different strategies to make sure that we keep our residents safe. And I have had no notification that we have any increased burglaries in our city.
Okay. Is there something specific you'd hope to accomplish in your next term that you haven't had a chance to accomplish yet?
You know, one of the things that I've learned as a commissioner, that things don't happen overnight. So as you continue to work through these different initiatives, it takes several years. It happens over a number of years. So I would like to continue to work on the things that I have been working on, be it affordable housing, our parks. I'm looking forward to a new pickleball court coming up. Just the quality of life in general for our residents when it comes to reducing flooding, resiliency, transportation, our roadways, potholes. Just continue to make sure that that we are proud of the place that we live in the city of Miramar.
Okay. And I've got a biographical question just to go back here, just take a step back. You did a lot of things for Miami-Dade County. What was your most senior position there? What did you do for Miami-Dade?
When I retired from Miami-Dade County, I was executive assistant to the director of solid waste management, and at that time, it was combined with public works as well. And in that position, I worked closely with the director and with all the executive staff, reviewing all that they submitted to her, working with their budget, working on different programs as well.
Okay, great. That gives us a good segue to go into an issue that's so important in Miramar these days, and that is the the possible plans by Miami-Dade to site an incinerator at a site called Airport West, which is in Miami-Dade, obviously, but it's less than a mile from the Miramar city limits. Yvette, where does that project and that proposal stand as we speak today?
It's definitely stands with Miami-Dade County. Miami-Dade County has taken different stands on it throughout. But in terms of all of their options, they still maintain all of their options on the table. And that half a mile, building an incinerator half a mile from the city of Miramar continues to be on the table. The city of Miramar has engaged the community. We have engaged a law firm, and we are going to continue to fight against this as much as we can to make sure that Miami-Dade County knows that we are against the incinerator being built so close to us.
What's your best recourse? What's your best strategy to prevent this from happening?
I think we have to look at several things, and what we are doing, I think we are doing a good job with what we're doing. You know, letting the community know, keeping the community informed. We have our attorney working on a resolution at the state level. We have an attorney advocating on our behalf with the Miami-Dade County commissioners. We have tried to continue to gain alliance in Broward County, in our neighboring cities. And I thank Pembroke Pines for joining us, and Southwest Ranches as well. And I think we need to continue to build on that coalition with our neighboring cities, our residents, and be present when it comes to Miami-Dade County, and you know, work with Miami-Dade County as much as we can, but stay firm in knowing that this is not in the best interests of our city.
Tell us specifically what the city of Pembroke Pines has done to join forces with you.
The city of Pembroke Pines Mayor have been present at the meetings as well, and they have contributed funds towards fighting this incinerator being built.
Okay, I'm going to step aside and open the floor to my colleague Dan Sweeney. Questions?
Hey, just one quick follow up on that. You know, with the recent kind of capitulation of the Miami-Dade mayor, do you see the likelihood of this being built as you know, sort of a lot less likely this week than it was last week?
You know, rather than taking it just, you know, one meeting at a time, I like to look at it broader. And everything is still on the table. This is still on the table. There have been no resolution passed or no clear message that it will not be built within a half a mile of our city. So this will continue to be an issue for us, until which time Miami-Dade County has made up their mind and decided exactly how they're going to handle their waste management.
when Steve started this line of questioning, he said this is a, an issue that's, a very current one for the city. I looked at Mr. Pedraza's website as well. There's another issue on there that is a very, very long-term issue for the city, which is he said he's going to fight against the blasting from a rock mine in Miami-Dade, affecting homes in Miramar. Gosh, that has been an issue as long as I can remember. Practically, they've been up in Tallahassee fighting this, trying to get bills passed to limit, the blasting and this kind of thing. Can you just give us an update on where exactly that stands right now, and how much complaining you still hear from residents of Miramar as to blasting for a rock mine in Dade?
Well, I can say that the city of Miramar does not have authority over blasting. That's at the state level, and the blasting is happening in Miami-Dade County. The city of Miramar has done many things in order to gain the attention of our state legislators so that they can reduce the limits on the blasting. We have not been successful with that, but we continue to lobby and to advocate on behalf of our residents with the state. We have a committee, a blasting committee, that we have formed with our city residents representing the different communities. I don't know that my opponent has ever been to one of those meetings, or has he ever requested to be part of that. And we also, from time to time, we have we do have communication with Miami Lakes as well. I know the committee is also working with Miami Lakes, who is also advocating to reduce the limits on blasting.
You mentioned starting an affordable housing trust fund at the city level there, which several other cities in Broward have done. Can you kind of give me a little more information on that? What, how much money are we putting away? Where are the funds coming from? That sort of thing.
The Affordable Housing Trust Fund, we are able to get funds from developers, from anyone who donates to the Affordable Housing Trust. A certain percentage will go to it in any sale of land by the city. Most of the money that we do have comes from grants, from ARPA funding. We are able to put money in there so that we can use it towards affordable housing.
Okay. Steve, your microphone's off, but it sounded like you had something you want to say.
Sure. Thanks very much. We appreciate your detailed knowledge about a lot of these issues. Does the city of Miramar have term limits for their elected officials?
The city of Miramar does not have term limits for their elected officials.
What's your position about term limits?
I am in favor of what we currently have in the city of Miramar. I think it allows you to have a commission that's more educated, that allows you to pursue an issue and continue to work on an issue that takes several years to come through. So I think when you have term limits, it really hurts the commission, if you will, in terms of carrying out some of the initiative and long-term plans and needs of the cities.
Okay, fair enough. I spent a few minutes looking at your budget online. I had a couple of questions about the budget. One is, if I read it correctly, there is $8 million in the current year's budget in Miramar in the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. I just want to ask, is that the extent of what you're spending on affordable housing? And in a city of your size, is that sufficient?
Affordable housing is a crisis right now. So to the, if we were able to get additional dollars, I certainly think that it would be well spent in affordable housing. Of course, the city has to balance their different needs. But in terms of what we have spent, in addition to that, we do have SHIP funding and CDBG, which we use towards different types of programs for affordable housing as well.
Okay. And on the operating side of city government, I looked at your operating budget. If I read it correctly, the operating budget, and that is the day-to-day operations of the city, public safety, city attorney, city clerk, human resources, public works. That part of the budget in Miramar is up this year by 13.1%. I'm asking you why spending in Miramar seems to be accelerating like that.
I think a good portion of that you would see it has to do with salaries and benefits. We do have bargaining agreements as well. But as you stated, most of the general funding is employees. It has to do with the services, and those services are provided by employees.
Did the property tax rate, the actual rate of that you're levying for property taxes, did it go up this year?
It did not.
Okay. So a broader view question. We've got there are 3 city commission races on the March ballot.
Mhm.
One of the other commissioners was unopposed. And what's the status of the situation with Mayor Wayne Messam?
What do you mean what status?
Why is he not on the ballot?
The city of Miramar has elections every 2 years. So on one of the years, you would have 3 commissioners, and then the next 2 years, you would have one of the commissioners on the mayor. So the mayor's seat will be up in 2 years.
Okay. Very good. You indicated at the outset, Yvette, you've been a resident of Miramar for 32 years. That's a lot of history, a lot of stability. I'd like you to tell us in a couple of big, profound ways how much different Miramar is, the Miramar of today compared to the one you moved into 32 years ago.
Well, first of all, Miramar is celebrating 70 years, and you have seen a lot of growth since I've moved in here till then. Our western cities have been built. There's been a lot of new development, not just housing, but also you have a lot of different restaurants and a lot of shopping centers that we have in the city. We have had new parks in the city since then. I think in general, the city, for a larger city, even though we have grown, we have been able to maintain a sense of community. We have been able to address needs and just make it really community oriented, just in different areas, so that every community feels that they have their own events, they have their own community, and still we have a broader sense where everybody comes together.
Okay. As we said in our questionnaire, Miramar is one of the few cities in Broward County that has municipal elections in March of odd-numbered years. We might agree and might not agree on this point, but you, as you indicated in the questionnaire, you're a proponent of keeping things the way they are and having elections in March. Most of the other candidates who we asked this question to do not agree. They think that the elections should be moved to November. So give us your perspective on this question and why it's a good idea to have elections in March.
I think the March election really affords an opportunity for the community to focus on the community, for residents to focus on what is happening in Miramar, for the media to focus on what is happening in media. When we have our November elections, you have your presidential elections, you have so much distraction from that. We're totally overshadowed. So from that standpoint, I think that's it works the way we have it in Miramar.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Do you have any idea, just based on past history, give us an estimate what do you think the percentage of the voters, the turnout will be in March? What percentage of the electorate will actually show up and vote in this election?
Maybe about 20% or so. But what I would say is that even though you have a larger percentage turnout on the November election, presidential election or otherwise, many times you don't have informed voters, or many of the voters, so many things are on the ballot, they don't make it to actually voting, paying any attention to the municipal elections.
Okay. Very good. I'm going to ask you a question about a couple of questions about fundraising. I looked at your fundraising reports. You're pretty impressive in terms of you've raised almost $150,000 in this race, according to what I found. Let me just give you a quick picture of the other cities that the Sun Sentinel is screening candidates in the March elections. They're generally smaller than you are, for sure. But the other cities are Coconut Creek and Deerfield Beach in Broward County, and Lake Worth Beach and Boynton Beach in Palm Beach County. And I would say from my review of candidate fundraising reports, you have raised far and away above more than any other candidate in any other race. So you have to run citywide, right? These are at-large seats, is that right?
Sorry, you broke up a little there, Steve. Commissioner Colbourne, I think he was asking your district. It's not a district base. You have to run at large throughout the entire city, right?
That is correct. We have to run at large. We have 140,000 residents. And I'm not sure how that relates to the other municipalities that he's
Some are districts, some are citywide. It really depends on the city.
Yeah.
Okay, Dan, I'm in transit, so if the signal is weak, please try to relay the question. I wanted to ask Ms. Colbourne whether all the money she's raised money from trash haulers, engineering companies, law firms, folks from Broward County, folks from Dade County. A company that markets bus benches has given money to Ms. Colbourne. These sound like companies that do business or want to do business with the city of Miramar. Does that pose any kind of a conflict?
First of all, I'd like to say that I'm really appreciative of those who have supported my campaign and assisted me in raising funds so that I can get my message out, so that I can be reelected to the city of Miramar. I know it does not pose a conflict for me.
What is
okay.
what does a donation get when somebody gives you a donation? Does that at least mean they have like a conversation? They've got a seat at the table. What's a developer or a trash hauler, what have you? What does their money your campaign actually get them?
They certainly get a thank you card from me because I truly appreciate it. And without the donation, without that type of commitment, I would not be able to get my message out to my residents here in the city of Miramar and maintain my position here to support the City of Miramar Commission.
Tell us an endorsement you have in this race that you're especially proud of.
I do have a letter from our Fraternal Order of Police and a contribution from our Fraternal Order of Police. I do have endorsements from our state representatives, county representative, our county commissioner, Alexandra Davis, state representative, Marie Woodson, state representative, Robin Bodeman, and several others of my elected colleagues in Broward County. And I appreciate that because we have been working together in many initiatives throughout the year. I appreciate their support.
Okay, those are names very familiar to us, of course. This is my last question, Dan, and that is this. I guess it's an open-ended question, Ms. Colbourne, but you know, since we haven't had any contact from your opponent, Luis Pedraza, is there anything about him, his candidacy, his, the fact that he's on the ballot, that you'd want us to know, or you'd want the voters of Miramar to know about your opponent?
I am very active in the city of Miramar. I deal with so many residents. We have so many residents that are involved in the city of Miramar. My opponent is not one that I've seen or heard for since I've been elected as a City of Miramar Commission. And I'm not aware of anything that he has done for the community or he has involved himself in any way.
And has there ever been a time when he contacted you or your office that he needed help or assistance or wanted to have input on some city issue of any kind?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of. I do know that I have been attended meetings with his HOA, with his community. I have been in the community. The city of Miramar has done a lot of work in his community as well. But if he has been anywhere around here, it has not been memorable.
Okay. What's the name of the HOA that he's affiliated with?
Country Club Ranches.
Okay. All right. Deanna, unless you have any additional questions, I think we'll conclude with Ms. Colbourne.
No, I don't have anything else. I think we're good.
Okay. Yvette, thank you very much for being with us here today. Best of luck to you in the March election.